Welcome back, everyone. Benvenuto. Today we're going to be talking about Mecha Break. I've been super excited to play this. I'm a big fan of mechas in general, and I did my first Gunpla last year, and I plan on doing more. So this game was definitely on my list. So Mecha Break is a 6v6 mecha combat objective-based game. There's also an extraction game mode as well, but we'll get into that later. As soon as you hop in, you pick your name, then you create your character. In most games, I hate creating my character. I don't mean like putting your skill points in or your passive or active abilities and everything. I'm just talking about like how your character looks. There's too many sliders, too many things to choose from. I just get overwhelmed and I end up like just picking the default character or just randomize. And for me, Mecha Break is all about the robots, so I'm not too worried about customizing my character. I'll probably just pick one of the baddies and then play one of them, or I can make Sid from Ice Age. But if we're doing space, we're fighting in space, maybe I'll create the strongest space combat being I know, the roaches from Terraformer. If you know, you know. Yeah, that's it. This is the one. At first, I thought there was going to be a full story mode to play through, but I guess not. But the open beta starts off with your ship coming under attack, and then you have to get into a mech and pilot it out. You have to head back to Earth, and then you're stopped by like this Colossus Striker or something like that. Which, to the game's credit, the intro is super fun, and it's kind of a good tutorial. It just puts you right into the combat immediately, and I like that. After pushing your way through, you have like this mini boss fight. You land back on Earth, but you're away from all of your comrades. So you get in contact with your officers and plan to meet up with some allies that are close by. On the way to meeting up with your allies, you come across that same colossal striker that attacked your ship. But luckily, two of your allies show up as well. And together you guys take down this massive like Titan striker, which is super cool. I hope they put that either in the multiplayer or let you pilot it in some other story mode aspect. I think that'd be super fun. After you defeat the colossal striker, you go back to the main base. Shortly after you get there, they send you on another mission. This is a rescue mission, but something went wrong. While on your mission, they also flesh out more of the story. They're talking about there's multiple factions, and then there's a group of humans on the moon who are fighting for the resources of Earth, or at least whatever's left. Then we're introduced to Corite, which is a resource they wanted to use for technological advancements, but it's also been changing. It seems like it's been evolving and growing conscious, which is causing it to spread at a rapid rate. And then that's where you get your first glimpse at Mashmac, which is the extraction map, but they do a little tutorial on how Mashmac works. You can summon down weapons, create your own loadouts, and then you extract. It shows you how to extract as well, and you have to wait for the extraction beacon or whatever to drop down for you to get out. Once you come back from that rescue mission, you're then left to explore the base, which is pretty cool. Your generic army base. This one's a little more futuristic. You got some futuristic bathrooms, some VR training pods, the med bay, of course, bar. Actually, there's one really cool aspect about the bar besides the music. It's that there's like a poster that changes through the top 10 pilots in multiplayer. I guess this is throughout all the game modes, but it actually like highlights all the best players currently. And I think that's really cool. I'm really interested to see how they use it in the future, either for seasonal events or if they add more story, if the base changes as well. And maybe even in co-op, you can have your friends hop into the base with you and you can do stuff outside of the mech combat. But as soon as you finish that little intro mission / like story that they give you, it puts you right into combat. So it puts you into the multiplayer match. The first match you go in, I guess the regular 6v6 multiplayer match is called Verge, and there's 6 different game modes, I believe. And these are supposed to like represent missions you do for humanity. And then the opposing team are going to be the opposing factions that they're combating in the story as well. And then in Mashmac, of course, is the extraction part, which we will talk about because I guess it's pretty important. So let's just talk about the multiplayer. So the first map in game mode is Krob's Sinkhole, which is a domination game type with 3 points. Whoever holds the majority of points the longest wins the match. Second, we have Cape Blanc. Here you have to dismantle extractors. So they'll drop down on the map while you're fighting off the other team of 6. You have to destroy these extractors to actually earn points. The team that destroys the most within the time limit wins the match. Third is Eye of Mira. It's similar to Capture capture the flag, but there's 3 spots that can spawn the flag. While you're fighting the other team, you have to go into one of the spots, you download the key, which is the flag, and then you run it back to the missile silo. The team that does that the most within the time frame wins the match. 4th is Palm Bay Harbor. This game mode is a mix of like Escort and King of the Hill. Move the payload to the end of the path with 3 nodes you have to fight for control in order to speed up your payload, which I think it's a pretty good game mode because it forces the teams to get off of just being on the payload and then fight for this spot, and then that can move it along. So the pacing of the game definitely switches up. And then there's another game mode I haven't played yet because I haven't reached the level required, but it's called Ace Arena. I'm assuming this is like ranked, maybe I'll do a video once I finally get to play it and try it out, but you have to be level 16 to queue up, and I am only level 7 at this point. And then last but not least, we're gonna talk about Mashmac, the extraction game mode. This is the main way you get mods for your mech. You also get blueprints for weapons, shields, swords, and then you can use that to edit your loadouts that you drop in to Mashmac. You also get credits, like the Matrix credits or merit points. You get those as well. The longer you're in the map, the more points you get, but the harder it is to extract. I haven't played too many extraction games like Tarkov or anything like that. After playing this for a while, I enjoyed it thoroughly. So it starts off with a team of 3. You spawn in with a team of 3. Then you do PvE to get loot. You have a few ordnance that are on a timer that you can summon down. So this goes for like medical bots. This goes for your loadout. There's one key one, which is like a missile silo that comes down. You can put 3 items that you've found within Mashmac into it and secure it just to make sure you have it at base. Because if you do die in this game mode or you lose all the items that you have on you currently. So this is a good way to make sure if you find something nice, like a good blueprint or maybe a rare mod, that you can put it in there and make sure you have it for later. But the PvP overall is super fun. I guess the map is consistent, but the enemies sometimes spawn different. The stronger the boss or the harder the event, the better the loot you get. And I've ran into some unique bosses. Even in a team of 3, these bosses are a really good challenge. They're really fun. There's also a solo option that you can do at level 13. I definitely might have to try that out. And that's the main part, is that PvE. And then when you're ready to extract, it turns into the PvP portion. If you come across another team that's trying to extract as well, they might just try to shoot you down and take your loot, or you can shoot them down and take their loot. So it's like a race to see who can actually extract. And that's probably the gist of it. I've only played a few matches. I don't know how the mods work yet, but they have like this curse and kiss. So in order to get this buff, you have to get this nerf. I don't know if that goes for the legendary ones, if there's the legendary mod is all buff, but I guess I'll find out later the more I play. This is just like my first impression so far. In a really quick side note, there is a tab. I wish I saw this earlier. There's a tab at the top that says challenges, but it's actually like the tutorial, like an honest to God tutorial. So once you go in there, it gives you, I believe, 10 missions of tutorials, and then they have specific ones for each mech. You can do that tutorial, and then you unlocked an advanced tier at level 10, which I think is kind of sucky. Like if you're trying to learn a new mech or get better with the mech you're currently using, I think it would be better to have all the assets available to help you get good with your mech. Locking it behind level 10, I think it's kind of lame. I also think that it's kind of lame that the other mechs, because there's, I believe there's like, is it 10 or 12 mechs available? And you start off with the first one from the story mode, and then they give you a whole bunch of points so you can buy another mech. But I was really hoping that you would have access to all of them, and you could try them out whenever you want. There is a trial run where you could try them in the tests in like the training area, but it's not the same as being in a multiplayer match and trying them out. It feels different in an actual match. Once you find one you like anyways, you're probably not gonna switch unless you get bored and then you're like, oh well, I guess I have enough points to buy one. But generally I would think people would find the one that they like using and use that one the majority of time. All right, since we're on the topic of mechs, so there's like what, 10 or 12 mechs. I was kind of disappointed because I really wanted to be able to switch out the parts on a mech, kind of like a build your own mech, the arms, the guns, the weapons, and all that. You can't do any of it, unfortunately, but you can color it and customize it like that. Looks like there's some different patterns you can get as well and some different skins. We'll see what happens in the future, but the customization color-wise is very in-depth. I spent maybe an hour, 2 hours, because I did 2 different mechs. I did Falcon, which I've really been enjoying Falcon, and I did Panaka, just because no one heals. I rarely see healers, so I was like, let me try it out. And I've been having a blast with Panaka as well. But the customization for the colors, I'm gonna throw up my mechs and how I color them. Let me know if you like them or not. Yeah, so far I've really been enjoying the game. The game is fun. I hope they add some more content, which I don't doubt it. This is probably gonna be season based. There's gonna be a battle pass or something, and then they'll have themes. I just hope that they're good. I'm looking forward to seeing what they come up with. One thing I really want them to add would be like a mech you can customize yourself and have like a separate game mode for that. So the 6v6 could probably be like the dedicated mechs you already have, and then have a separate lobby you can go in for your own custom mech that you put together with guns and mods and stuff. I think that would be cool. All right, well, thank you guys for watching. Definitely try out the beta. It's free. Like there's really no downside. I haven't had any server issues or connection issues. I think day one they had some connectivity issues, but overall I think it's fun. It's at least maybe 10 hours of fun. All right, have a good one, guys.